long sleeves. Ah.
G'day, welcome back to Drop Stitches podcast. My name is Amy.
I'm Leigh.
And we are sisters. We live in Ballarat in Victoria. And we're here to talk about everything we've been knitting and whatever. Whatever we feel like.
Whatever takes our fancy because it's our channel.
Yeah. You may notice that we are wearing quite a similar design today.
Twinning.
So shall we talk about our first finished objects?
Yes.
These are our Grape Tees that we buddy knit, I guess, over the last couple of months. And yeah, they're done now. We talked about them in our last proper podcast episode and now they're done. So do you want to talk about yours? Maybe give us a rundown of the yarns again?
Yes. I actually wore mine to the Geelong and Bellarine yarn show, which we've got a little short vlog of. So I wore it to that. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So I've knit it out of the Gore Woolen Mill merino cotton, and the blue, that's the white, and then their blue is the it's the Gore Woolen Mill Summer Fiesta. I kind of chose this pattern with the intention of using up my Summer Fiesta that I had I felt like I had like 110 grams or something. I don't know where the rest is gone. It's very weird. I haven't made anything out of it. Very odd. Anyway, my idea was to use it up. I've got so much left. It's ridiculous. So there's going to be something else in my future, obviously.
Because it doesn't actually use that much of the contrast colour.
No, because I had bought an extra skein thinking, oh, I'd better buy another, and I didn't even touch the new skein.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I guess you could call it a bit of a scrap busting, you know, because you don't really need very much at all. And I held it double as well because it's quite a fine yarn. So yeah, I don't remember what the temperature was that day. It was relatively mild.
Yeah.
I was not hot at all. I wasn't cold. Like, it was so nice. It was cold in the morning because we left really early. It was cold in the morning, so I had a coat on, but the rest of the day, so comfortable. Just, it's really soft. It's so nice. It's beautiful to wear. I didn't make any modifications. Pretty much just knit a straight size 7. Yeah, didn't actually modify anything. I don't love the fit. It's a tiny bit loose, I think.
Yeah.
I've got something like 15 centimeters. I think it's between 15 and 20 centimeters. Obviously my body's not straight up and down, so it sort of varies. But yeah, I've got about 15 to 20 centimeters of positive ease, which I think might be a little bit too much. It just feels a bit loosey goosey, kind of not, but I also don't want anything really tight, so I'm still figuring out
maybe also for
what I like.
For a t-shirt, maybe that's a little bit too much positive ease as opposed to a jumper.
Yes, actually, now that you say that, if this was a pullover with long sleeves and I was just going to chuck it on over something, because I can't really wear anything underneath it because the neck's a bit wide. I had a t-shirt on before and it sort of shows that. So it kind of does need to be worn on its own, but it's beautiful. I love it. Like, I'm so happy with it. Yes, like if I had a perfect world, it might have a tiny bit less ease, but it's very wearable. It's very comfortable. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm mostly happy with the length of the sleeves, and I don't know how I feel about that. But,
yeah, they kind of hit at an awkward spot.
Yeah.
Like right at the elbow.
Yes, I possibly could have gone a smidge shorter, but I did kind of want them to be elbow length. But anyway, beautiful. Love it. I can't remember what size needle I used. Size 4mm maybe? It'll be in my Ravelry. I'm trying to be better about keeping on top of my Ravelry. So, yeah, it'll be in there. But, yeah, very, very happy.
And we'll link to the Ravelry, to the project itself in the description box below. So that's yours. This one is mine. And I made mine out of Juniper Moon Farm Patagonia is the main colour in a light grey, which is a 5-ply, or a sport weight if you're not in Australia. And the contrast colour is the Drover and Classer Bellevue Park 5-ply sport weight in the colourway Kelpie. And so that, I think, is just a merino processed in Australia and New Zealand. I also made the size 7. Well, actually, I cast on the size 6, but decided to increase to the size 7 at the underarm because I was a bit worried I wasn't going to have quite enough positive ease. So I went from a size 6 in the top half to a size 7 for the body. And I'm pretty happy with it. There's a few things. I made longer sleeves. And I also didn't do the colour work on the sleeves.
Oh, yeah.
Because especially with the longer sleeves, I wasn't sure if I would really like the way that, especially like with decreases and all that sort of thing. So I decided to just do plain sleeves. But I'm really happy with the way that it looks. I guess for me, I really struggle with how high the neck sits.
Yeah.
Are you checking to see if I've got it back to
front?
front?
Yeah, that's what I wondered.
Regardless of which way I wear it, it sits really high.
Yeah.
And so I've worn it. I wore it. We walked to the Mallow last weekend for lunch.
Love the Mallow.
And I was wearing it then, and it was a beautiful day, so I got really hot, and I kept like trying to pull it down. Right. So I think the boat neck doesn't really work for me.
Because you've not got particularly broad shoulders,
no.
So maybe that's...
I have noticed in the past that I've, when I've made like the Cielo top from Closet Core Patterns, a sewing pattern, that one was falling off my shoulders as well. It had quite a wide neckline as well. So right. I'm not loving the way that it's sitting, and I have been contemplating, do I just turn it into a Henley somehow, like cut into it or cut a triangle out of it or something. So if anyone has done that kind of sweater surgery, please leave your thoughts on that below. But that's, I guess, my biggest struggle with this is how high that neck sits on me.
I'm curious to know what it's like on me.
Oh, do you want to try it on?
A little bit.
Okay. The only other thing I will say is one of my sleeves has ended up longer than the other. And when I was blocking it, I noticed that one was longer than the other, and I kept trying to pull the other one, and I couldn't get any more length out of it. So I think I actually knit it shorter than the other one, even though I did the thing where you put your markers for every decrease, and I counted my stitches and all of that. So I don't know if I missed a marker somewhere. But so one sleeve is slightly shorter than the other, but I don't know if that bothers me enough to go back and fix it.
I would never go back and fix it.
Yeah.
And I think I've said this in past ones as well. I would just keep wearing it and it would just annoy me.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't actually go to the effort of fixing it.
Yeah.
Like if I've messed something up, it's pretty much going to stay messed up. Unless I rip it out completely, and that wouldn't probably be enough to make me rip it out.
Yeah, no. I think the length of the sleeve isn't going to bother me.
I guess you could rip the sleeves out though. Like it's just the sleeves.
Yeah. And it's not even ripping out both. It's ripping out one.
Yeah,
and
true.
just extending
and only a little bit. Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to. I think I'll be fine with it. But the neckline one, I think that's going to be annoying enough for me to want to do something about it.
Yeah, what a shame.
So we'll see. But I really like the way that it looks. I really like the way that it fits. And it's nice and soft. Do you want to try it on?
Yes.
All right. So we did a swapsy in homage to Jackie and Carmen from Knitting a Good Yarn, who are based in Canada.
Yeah.
And so we tried each other's on, and this is so soft.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's so nice. And obviously yours uses cotton.
Yeah.
Whereas mine is full wool.
Yeah.
So mine feels a lot more like a jumper.
Yes.
Whereas this does really feel like a t-shirt.
I can feel that, like, when you get warm, that there's this hint of prickle.
Yeah.
I can actually feel it on my back when I pull like that. Yeah. So you'd want to wear something under. But then the neck is much higher than mine. So you could actually wear a t-shirt under this. I did
knit the size 6 at the top. So I don't know if that's affected the size.
Yes, right. Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, like this is sitting much higher on you than it sat on than this one sat on you. And this one isn't anywhere near as annoying, maybe because it's less prickly, but this one isn't anywhere near as annoying on me as that one was.
It's really like...
It's up.
It's on your neck. Like you can feel it. It's not really even there. Prickle so much. It's just...
There.
It's on my neck.
Yeah. It's the presence of it is enough. Yeah. So yeah, that's a real shame, I think.
But the sleeves feel really nice.
The sleeves, I really like.
I like really long sleeves.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could
cope.
Oh, maybe I could actually.
So
in the right environment.
The sleeves actually blocked out a lot longer than I had intended. Like I checked my row gauge, my before and after blocking row gauge, and knit as long as I wanted based on that. But of course my gauge swatch lied to me. So they ended up, I wanted them to be closer to just past the elbow. And they ended up blocking out to like sort of slightly.
3/4 length.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But I'm happy with it still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very quickly not going to be able to wear that. I have thought about wearing it with like an undershirt. I've thought about doing that because I've got some black like booty tops
cami style.
Well, I've got like long, like I would even wear a long sleeve under that because my temperature regulator is my arms. If my arms are cold, I'm freezing. So I would like to have more covering my arms to keep me warmer. Yeah. Because it's warm without being hot. Yeah, it is lovely. It is like I will absolutely use that yarn again. I don't know how much I've got actually. I don't know how they...
makes me want to buy that yarn. Like it's so soft nice. And it's like that temperature regulating. Like obviously wool is quite good for temperature regulation as well, but this is much thicker than this is.
Yes, because that's only a 4-ply.
Right. Whereas mine is a 5-ply throughout, which is what the pattern called for, was a 5-ply.
So we just did a quick check and the cotton merino is 40% cotton and 60% merino, and it's 320 meters per 100 grams. And I just held that single.
And this is the Juniper Moon Farm is a 5-ply sport weight, 349 meters per 100 grams. So this is technically thinner than this, but this feels denser fabric.
Yeah, I guess the wool probably puffs up more, right? With blocking. Maybe. So the cotton, and this is a bit slubby because of the cotton. And so maybe it's just that this is puffed up more with blocking than that has and filled in the gaps a little bit more. This feels really nice. There's definitely some prickle.
Yeah, but like you said, I'm wearing it, or I would wear it with a t-shirt underneath it.
Yeah.
So the prickle I haven't found too bad, except for against my neck.
Yeah. See, now that I've been wearing it a little bit longer, I'm a bit more used to it now. It's not bothering me quite as much, but it was noticeable before.
It's a sensory experience for me.
Yeah, and I don't know if like wearing it through the day if it would get a bit annoying, and certainly if you got warm. Yeah. And I get warm.
So yes, so that's our finished object we just talked about for 15 minutes. Shall we swap back?
So yeah.
Fun.
Next.
I have one more finished object.
All right.
Shall I do that?
Go crazy.
Okay. So this is my finished, with buttons attached, all ends woven in, Midland cardigan.
Officially finished.
Well finished. Well more finished than almost any other thing I've ever made, and finished faster than any other thing I've ever made. So the buttons are sewn on. All the ends are woven in. It's a miracle. Woohoo! So this I've spoken about before, so I won't go into all of it too much, but this is the Midland Cardigan by Laura Penrose, made out of spinning yarn, weaving tails, wild briar yarn. I think in a previous episode I said the colourway was green apple, but I think the colourway is actually pear. It's a fruit of some sort. So this, where I last left this off on the podcast, was I needed to figure out a solution to the button band. So the button band instructions in the pattern requires you to meet a particular gauge, and I think it was 5 V's per inch in height. I think it was about making sure that however many stitches you pick up, it matches the row gauge of the button band so that it doesn't like...
Because this is double knit, right?
This is a double knit button band.
And do you do that separate?
No,
I've never knit one, so I don't know
you
how it
pick
works.
up a knit. So you pick
Right.
up all the stitches around the front, the
Yeah.
opening,
Yeah.
and then all of those stitches are sitting on a long cable,
Yeah.
and then you're knitting back and forth onto that cable. So you start at the bottom and you knit across and back into the stitches that you picked up. Because the pattern dictates how many stitches to pick up around, if your row gauge is really tight compared to how many stitches you've picked up, it would pucker.
Oh, I think I've had that experience.
Yes. And if your row gauge is much looser than the number of stitches that you pick up, it would stretch out.
Right.
So I understand why the pattern asked for you to meet this particular gauge, but with the yarn that I have, I couldn't hit that gauge. And I think that's because the pattern calls for a DK, maybe even a worsted weight. And this is a 5-ply sport weight, which when I bought the yarn, the woman said that it puffs up and can knit up like a DK. And it has, like, for the most part, I think the rest of the body looks great in this weight. But for, I guess, this really specific section, I couldn't get the right gauge. So what I ended up doing, and I think we talked about this in the last episode, is that Leigh kindly donated some fluff of hers to me. Isaga alpaca 2, alpaca 1.
I want to say alpaca 1.
Isaga alpaca of some description, and I knit a swatch and I hit gauge. So I got what I needed out of it, and I took the swatch to pub knitting and I asked a general consensus from the group what people thought of the way that because the alpaca was a little bit darker than the rest of the yarn. So I was a bit worried that it was going to look a bit strange. But I think in the end we decided that because there's these ridges in the main fabric, it's already kind of got a bit of a shadowy effect to it, that the darker and lighter bits of the button band aren't actually that noticeable or distracting.
Yeah, like it doesn't look weird.
No.
Like you can tell that there's a darker colour in it, but it doesn't look weird.
No, exactly. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. It fits exactly the way I wanted it to. It's a little bit longer than anything I've ever knit before, I think, which is, I keep accidentally knitting things too short. Whether it's accidentally because I've chosen the wrong size or whether it's because I get impatient. I keep accidentally knitting it a bit too short, and because you have to basically choose your length before you start with this one, because you knit sideways, I ended up with a perfect length and I didn't get bored or like impatient with it. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. The arms, I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, the arms are a little bit tight, but in a way that actually feels really nice. Like it's kind of hugging me.
Cozy.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'd be able to fit much in the way of like a long sleeve shirt underneath this, but I really like the way that it feels and holds me. The buttons I bought at the Gabbies, so the Geelong and Ballarat yarn show back in April. We did a whole separate video on that. And these were from Push My Buttons, and they're just shell mother of pearl buttons. And I think they go really nicely with it.
They're perfect.
They're really, quite good for it.
Love.
Yeah.
And this was a slip stitch, I think you said, didn't you?
Yes.
That's really nice. I like that detail.
Yeah, so it's just you slip 2 stitches in the middle of the circumference.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it, and it makes me remember not remember, but between this and my book club cardigan, those are the only 2 cardigans I've knit, and I love them both, and I find them both really wearable.
And they're both V-neck.
And they're both V-neck, which I think helps a lot. I don't love like a high neck on a cardigan. So yeah, I've already worn it heaps, and I've only had it for about a month at this point.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
I don't have any other finished objects, but you've got another one?
No, that was it.
Oh, all right. Should we do whips?
Whips.
I only have 2 whips as well.
Okay.
I think because I had this on the go and I got really focused on this because I was really keen to get this finished in time for Gabby's, it might have been a tiny bit damp when I wore it in the morning, but that's fine. It dried. It was like just a couple of little spots, like maybe on the back or something. Anyway, it dried and it was fine. Like, we've all done it, right? I'm sure we've all done it. Okay, so this one, I showed this, like maybe in one of the first or second podcasts that we did.
It's so nice.
Like, I have to give this away. I mean, it's not leaving my house. It's only going to my partner, but I don't think I should ever wear it because I will not want to give it back. So I need to just go with it, I think. It will make him cuddly.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So this is the Belmullet Pullover by Andrea Gorn. I've been working on it for a few months, I think, at this point. But mostly because I haven't been working on it exclusively. I went pretty hard when I started it, but it gave me a lot of hand pain. So I kind of had to put it down for a little while. And I think maybe I put it down to start this. Yeah. So I was sort of doing those 2. And also I'm still working on the... Oh, yes, I've actually got 3, but I didn't bring it in. I'm still working on the Noosa scarf. I'm making the size E with the idea that it's coming out as a size D. The good thing with Andrea's patterns is she has so much information, like her tester information, there's lots of ways to change things for different body shapes and that sort of thing. So
does this have, I know a lot of Andrea's patterns have a fit I and a fit II, or a fit 1, fit 2.
Yes, this one does. I don't remember which one I was doing.
Are you doing the male?
I'm doing the man's one, yeah.
Which is the fit 2.
Right. So I'm nearly finished. Like, I'm very close. I've basically finished...
Oh, there's still a cable in there.
Yeah, so I've basically finished... It's as long as I think I want it to be, but it asks for a tubular bind off.
I find...
Which I'm okay to do... Like, I do want to do it. I want to try it.
Yeah.
But I want him to try it on before I do.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, you're not going to undo that.
And I need to figure that out because I don't have... The cable's not long enough as it is for him to try it on.
Do you have barber cord?
No, because...
Do you want to borrow some barber cord?
Extra plastic things that I didn't want to buy.
Silicone.
Yeah, I might borrow some because I really want him to try it on first. And I'm I think I've got about 5 more decreases to do on the sleeve, and then there's a bit more. So I've still got a bit to do on the sleeves, but it's amazing. It's so squishy and so ridiculous. It's amazing.
Like it looks amazing. The texture of it is amazing, and then you touch it, and it feels so good.
Quite heavy. I mean, it does have needles and things attached, but it is quite heavy.
Yeah, but it's not as heavy as my Moby sweater that I made for Danica out of the Windara. The Windara, I'm pretty sure, was an Aran weight or a worsted weight. So it was thicker than this is.
Yeah, this is the Gore Woolen Mills Labella 8-ply. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, in the just natural. It's so good. And now that it's starting to get cold, I'm sort of trying to, and I'm not knitting on this Grape Tee anymore. I'm sort of trying to focus a bit more attention. It's quite easy. Like, once I can't memorize the pattern as such. Like, I've obviously got to follow the charts, but I know what sections, what I'm supposed to do. It's really more a case of when am I doing the cable row. But I know what to do once I get to them, kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's quite easy from that perspective.
It's gorgeous.
Like I say, it has been a bit hard on my hands, but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I am going to, whoever edits this video is going to insert some footage that we shot back in March, maybe, where Leigh was sewing down the collar of this sweater. So we were watching the Bathurst 6 hour.
Yeah. And
so, you know, we were talking and drinking and eating cheese and everything. And so everyone was a little bit distracted. And Leigh was clearly quite distracted because she sewed, instead of sewing down the collar to the inside of the jumper, she sewed the two sides of the collar to themselves.
I was like, crying. I thought I'll just make sure, before I cut this, I'll just make sure it all goes in properly. I don't know how. Like, I had done about that much of it correctly.
Yeah.
And because once I unpicked it, I was like, oh, I got that bit right. But somewhere along the way, I just picked up the wrong part and just stitched it closed.
It was so funny.
And it took me 0 time. Like, it was so easy to just unpick it.
Yeah.
And I did it again and it was perfect. Like, no problem. It was actually really easy.
When you get to do the bind off, tubular bind off, don't bind it off too tightly. So, like, I have done it several times now, and I don't love doing it, but I do actually find it quite meditative in a way.
I'm to be honest, because that's the sewn one, right? Like, I'm kind of dreading it, but I'm determined to do it because I think the jumper looks so good that I want it to have a really nice kind of squishy finish.
I think it's quite polarizing. I won't do it for everything, but I do really like the finish. And I do find it quite, once you get into the rhythm of it, I find it quite meditative. Anyway.
Remains to be seen.
But
I am determined to give it a shot.
So my next whip.
Yes. Blimey.
I'm actually...
Oh, because I haven't seen this one.
She hasn't seen this one, and I'm so excited to talk about it.
That's a very cute bag.
Oh, yes, I got this for my birthday. This bag. This is a project bag that my wife bought me for my birthday from the Australian wool store. And, yeah, it's a good size. It's probably... The project is almost about to outgrow this bag, but it's been good for now. And I took it away to Bright. We went away to Bright for 2 weeks. And I took the project in this bag, and it was really good. So... This
Oh my god.
is my Hortik.
Oh. I think I was imagining it was something else. Like that the Hortik looked like something else.
Oh.
I had like a different image in my head.
Right.
Yay.
So I might actually try it on.
Such good colour.
I love the colour. So I guess quickly before I try it on, the yarn is the Pirate Pearls yarn that I bought.
Oh, that's right. You bought,
I bought it at the Gore Woolen Mill Christmas market last year. So I think the green colourway is Zest and the grey is a one-of-a-kind colourway. But yeah, I love it.
I am buying Pirate Pearl at Bendigo. It's happening.
You need to figure
picking
out
a project and I am buying some because every year I go and I go, oh, I really want some and I don't know what I want and I don't know what to do with it. So I'm going in with a plan this year.
So before I put it on, one thing I'll say is that it has these short rows at the back. So it's a circular yoke. So these short rows here, as opposed to like it's quite thin here.
Yeah. Oh, she's cute. Oh, she's really cute.
So
feels like you're gonna combust.
I have been loving working on this, and I had swatched for it ages ago, and then I kind of put it to one side because I couldn't quite get gauge, I think, or maybe I was fine on the gauge front, but I put it to the side anyway, and I was working on like the Grape Tee and a couple of other things, finishing up my Midland. So I only got back to this in like mid-April or late April, and I did the majority of this while we were in Bright for 2 weeks. Which maybe doesn't feel like a lot for some people, but for me this feels like a lot of knitting, especially in colour work. Stranded colour work that I've never done before to this extent. It needs a block, like you can definitely see there's some tension variation rather than issues. Just some variation, so it definitely needs a block.
You want to block it. The mid-project block.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't Sarah's quite a fan of Two Pearls in a Pod? She loves the mid-project blog.
Yeah. So before I split for sleeves, I was really, really worried about how big it was looking. Like the circumference of it was like, it was insane. I texted Leigh the other day and said, when you've done a circular yoke, how big is the circumference? Because this feels insane. So I was a bit stressed about it. But I think, I can't see myself right now, but I think it feels
Yeah.
okay.
Like you've got decent room
Yeah.
without it being too much.
Yeah.
And then does it have,
There's a collar to go onto it. So there's still a collar to like cinch it all up a little bit more.
Yep.
Which I'll probably move on to next. So I've just finished. This is the last of the first ball of contrast colour. So I'll probably, now that this is done, I'll probably go back and do the collar next before continuing with the body and do that mid-project block. Oh my God. I love it. It's so soft and squishy.
It's going to be so amazing when it's finished.
And it's going to be so warm because it's got all this double layered colorway, color work. But yeah, no, I can't express how excited I am.
It feels like, I think this is why I like to do, you know, I like color work and I like textured stuff. It feels like it has big impact. I have recently thought, maybe I just need a couple of like just really basic, simple jumpers that you can just chuck on.
Yeah.
They take no time to knit, but because they're just round and round and just, you know, plain knitting.
Yeah.
I have thought about that, but I just don't think I could do it. I think it would be too boring.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe if I had it, you know, maybe I just need to have one on the go at the same time as all the fun stuff.
And maybe it's a good thing to work on the train.
Yeah.
When you're...
I can't make mistakes.
Well, yeah, like you can just go around and around in circles.
Yeah.
And...
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. But yes, no, this is definitely going to be a statement sweater.
Makes me want another colour work one now.
I guess I don't really have that much to say on this other than...
You just love it.
Oh my
Colour's
God.
great, yeah.
Yeah, the colour, I'm
Pattern's been
really
good.
happy with it. The pattern has been good. No, I think my biggest issue was swatching in the round in colour work. Like it was just such a pain. But I did it and I chose, I think I went up half a mil needle size. So I think I'm on a 4.5 mil needle where she calls for a 4 mil needle, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
But yeah, no, I can't, I don't know what to say. I don't think I actually have that much to say. It's just so nice. And it's got these cute little specks of orange.
Oh yeah.
In the green colorway has these little specks every now and again of orange, which I think are just really cute. And yeah, so I'm going to keep working on it and keep
on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on, and at some point, I hope I have it done for Bendigo. That's kind of my goal, is to get it done in time for Bendigo. Yeah, like I was a bit worried, and because I haven't done colour work like this before, I was a bit worried that I wasn't going to, that it was going to take me a really long time. But I did this in 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. And you're like a third of the way through the jumper, really.
Yeah, and the sleeves are short sleeves. Well, there's 2 sleeve length options in the pattern, but I was going to do the short sleeve length because then I thought I could wear it with like a base layer underneath it.
Yeah.
And it could be a bit more interesting.
Yeah, it feels like Bendigo can be a bit hit and miss for weather.
Yeah.
Some years, like last year, it was really mild. The year before, it was freezing, I think.
Yeah, and wet. The year before it was wet.
Windy and...
But yeah, so that's where that's at. Need to add the collar. Need to finish the body. Need to finish the sleeves. Need to block it.
Yay!
And now I need to catch my breath because I got a little bit too excited.
All right, so on the topic of Bendigo, I have my Noosa scarf, which I worked on pretty solidly for quite a while. I was working on it on the train. I guess I'm about, just trying to think. I think I have like another one of these, the cable pattern chart to finish. And then, so it's a provisional cast on and you knit in one direction and then I'll come back and knit in the other direction to the other end. So I guess I'm about, I don't know, third of the way through the whole thing maybe. It's actually relatively quick. Like, it sort of felt for a while like it just wasn't growing. Like, I felt like I was working on a lot and just wasn't really getting anywhere. It's on like 3mm needles or something.
Ooh,
I think
teeny tiny.
3.25 maybe. But yeah, now it's starting to really sort of feel a bit more substantial, which is pretty exciting. I have ripped back a couple of times to fix things, and there are a couple of little not quite right cables, but I've already gone back to fix them, and I still managed to mess them up. So I think I'm just going with it. I mean, it'll be wrapped around my neck. Who's going to notice anyway?
No.
The yarn's quite variegated, so this is
It's not very obvious.
No, I don't. And I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
A mistake here or there is fine.
Yeah, like if I could have fixed it, great. And I did attempt to, but I clearly just messed something up in the process of doing that. So
Did you rip back to the row, or did you drop down and try and fix it?
I dropped down.
Yeah, that I find that really hard in cables, dropping down to fix it.
Yeah, I'm not bothered enough. Like I'm ready to just keep going.
The only person that will know that it's wrong is you.
Yeah. So this is the Tandy wool that I got at the back-to-back that we went to.
Late March.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. We had a halfway Zoom for the Bendigo project yesterday afternoon, so that was kind of fun. They had a quiz. I did a very bad job of it. So I'm looking forward to having this done for Bendigo. It'll definitely be done. I'm sort of ready to start working on it again. But now that I'm so close on the Belmullet, I'm like, I just want to get those sleeves done now.
Finish it.
It's coming along.
Fun.
It's good. It's fine.
Yay.
Yeah.
Nice. So my next one, this project bag, is from Gore Woolen Mill, because I am using Gore Woolen Mill yarn for this project. So this is the Mountain Laurel top by Andrea Gawn. I think we seem to be Andrea Gawn fans in this household.
Yeah.
I swatched for this on the way down to Gabby's, and I swatched two different sizes. So one, and they're still attached to each other. So one was on the recommended needle size, 3.5mm, and one was on a 4mm needle because the 3.5 was a little bit too tight. I think that's a 3.5. And this is the 4mm needle. And so the 3.5mm needle was a little bit too tight, and the 4mm needle was a little bit too loose. So I've split the difference, and I've cast on with a 3.75mm needle instead. And so this, I think she calls a right knot.
So interestingly, it's actually the same. It's the same stitch that's in the Noosa scarf.
Yeah.
But I believe it's called a bean stitch in this one.
Yeah. So it's the same stitch in both, but mine, I think Andrea calls it a right knot or something like that, right knot stitch, and bean stitch in Vera's pattern instead. So those are the swatches, and I cast on for this on Friday. I cast on using a long tail cast on, and I had not enough yarn, so I had to start again. And then I cast on again using a long tail cast on, and I had way too much yarn left over at the end, so I started again. I think I did that 3 or 4 times. Like I just kept getting the wrong amount of yarn for my long tail cast on, and so I took it to Craft Club yesterday, and Leigh and another one of the women there helped me do the endless loop. How do you do what's it called?
Oh, I'm not sure if it's got a name, but where you did long tail cast on from both ends of the ball. So you take the center and the end, and you tie them together, do your cast on, and then you cut one end.
Yeah.
So then that leaves you with your working yarn.
Yeah, so that you don't have the problem of running out of yarn.
You don't have to guess. It just stop when you've got enough. It's so good. I actually first heard about it, I think, from a Stephen West tutorial.
Yeah, I remember it being in one of his tutorials, and I remember going, "Oh, that's a good idea." Just letting it fall out of my head.
I'll never do a long tail cast on any other way. It's so good. It's so good.
So yeah, I was really glad to try that method yesterday, and then I started knitting it, and I made about 20 mistakes in the 3-hour craft club, in the time of the craft club yesterday. I made so many mistakes. I think I was also just a little bit spacey in my brain.
And there's a lot of talking, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. And I was really struggling with the first round of the pattern is written instructions, and it has multiple sections that repeat. And so I was really struggling to focus and remember where I was at. And so I kept making mistakes there. The rest of the body is charted, which I'm finding much, much easier to follow. But last night, it's not on a very long cable, but I went around and just wanted to make sure that I hadn't twisted my cast on edge when joining in the round. And it turns out that I have. So, yeah. That, I think, means that I need to start over again. This is a summer top, so, like...
no rush.
I thought I'd work on it while I was, waiting for other things to be ready to move to the next stage. But clearly this is not a bring to pub knitting or craft club activity. Oh, wow. Exciting. All right. So the next whip, we somehow, yet again...
Our final whip?
Final whip. Yep. Final whips. We've ended up on a bit of a buddy knit again.
Yeah. Buddy knit insofar as we both bought the kits from Fibersmith at Gabby's, and I've started mine. I think because something got hard, or I can't actually remember now, but there was I didn't specifically sit down. I just kind of bought the kit going, oh, this will be cute and fun, and I'll start it at some point and it'll be really straightforward. And I don't know, I kind of vaguely remember going, I'll do this instead. Everything else. Maybe my Noosa scarf might have been when I made the mistake or noticed the mistake and thought, oh, I should really go back, and didn't have an opportunity, and so anyway, I've started this. So, do you want to just show yours?
Yeah, show yours and then I'll show mine.
So this is what I've got so far. It's called what was it called? The mini scarf kit?
Mini stripe scarf.
Yeah. So there's 5 sections. I've done 2, obviously. I just have finished the second one. And essentially you pretty much knit until you run out of yarn. Mostly. I had a little bit left over, and so I've put the leftovers in my sweet shop blanket.
Nice.
That because they don't make a whole triangle, once I've done that, finished that triangle, I'll show that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've wound up the other 6 colours, because it was 2 colours wound to skeined up together, but then it winds out into 2 small balls. And then you just knit from the pattern. The pattern's not online. The pattern's only the printed pattern we have. It's not in Ravelry. But yeah, it's good fun.
I really like your colours. Do you remember what the kit name was for yours?
Autumnal mini stripe scarf set.
Oh.
And it has the colour order on the back.
Yeah, nice. Mine doesn't have this. Oh, maybe it does.
And so actually something I wanted to mention about this, one of the reasons I got really excited about this, because it's Leslie, I think, who has Fibersmith. She has a few sock yarns, and I don't, as a rule, do nylon. I don't buy yarns with nylon in them. But these ones it's 100% extra fine Australian merino. I did notice on her website, I think it was. Yeah, so what I wanted to say about this yarn is that it's 100% extra fine Australian merino, but it was actually spun in Italy. So generally, I won't buy a yarn with nylon in it, and I usually try to buy as local as I get, as much processing in Australia as I possibly can. I had a bit of a weak moment with this one, and I just really loved it. I mean, obviously it's still Australian merino, but the fact that it was spun in Italy. There was something else in there. Oh, that the Fibersmith yarns comply with the Australian Wool Industry administered National Wool Declaration schemes, sourced from farms where high standards of animal welfare are required and the sheep have not been mulesed. So I feel pretty comfortable, pretty good about this yarn. Apart from a little trip to Italy.
Yeah. So I also bought a kit from Fibersmith at the Gabby's Festival. Lee's yarn came with the 2 colours wound together so that you knew which two colours to put together. Mine didn't. So I just had 10 separate tanks. Which she does have a picture on her website of how she recommends to combine them. So I have actually gone through and like tied the two together that she has recommended to do together. And I only started this last night. So because I was having such a time with my Mountain Laurel top, I decided I just need something simple, and we're about to head to pub knitting after this. So I just need something simple to work on at pub knitting. So all I have so far is this much. So yeah, I'm quite early in the process of mine. Oh, that's the back. This is the front. But yeah, it's a nice easy project to work on, and I love greens and blues. So I thought that this one, rather than one of the other kits, so the colorway set that I have is a limited edition, which I think is why they're not bound together. So it's a limited edition set. Lemon Lime Spritz is the color family. And yeah, so that's been a nice little one to work on. Yeah, so is that everything?
I think that's it. Please excuse the neighbour's dog if that's what you can hear.
So that's everything we've got, and we'll be back again at some point with another video.
Yeah.
And yeah, feel free to leave a comment, especially if anyone, like I said at the start, if anyone has any thoughts on the neckline of my grape tee, I would love feedback or thoughts on that. But yeah, any other comments, feel free to subscribe, like, all of the fun YouTube things.
Thank you to Katie from the Meandering Knitter for giving us a shout out.
Yes.
Our subscribers basically doubled within a day or two of that shout out. So thank you, Katie. She's very lovely. And we've been having quite a bit of back and forth, comments and stuff, chatting on each other's channels. So that's been really fun.
Editing Amy here. I wanted to also just quickly insert this to also say thank you to Kendall and Sarah from Our Stitching Chronicles for their shout out on their channel as well. That happened after we recorded this but before we've published it, so just wanted to give a thank you to them as well. Really appreciate sharing our channel with your viewers, and thank you as well to all the viewers who have come across from their channel to here as well. Hopefully we can live up to the hype and give back to the Australian knitting podcast community as well. Yeah, thank you for watching. It's been nearly 6 months of us doing this. Yeah, we started in January and it's mid-May.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so it's been nearly 6 months of us doing this, and I've loved it, and it's really nice to get feedback from people in the comments. And part of the reason we wanted to do this was for a bit of the community aspect. So yeah, really love hearing from you guys and feeling like we're not just talking into the void a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy. I will talk until forever.
Yeah.
So
yes, thanks for watching, and we'll be back again soon.
Bye.
Bye. Touch wood that nothing...
That's not wood. Yeah, that's probably more. I don't know if it's like a physics thing or but the physics of how I'm pretty sure I couldn't
Physics.
I don't not in STEM. Sorry, there's just a really nice what are they called?
I can't see what Rosella. Rosella.
Crimson
Rosella, yeah.
Crimson Rosella outside. Yay. I'm very distracted by the window, so I do apologise for that.